book, Heroes of a Texas Childhood. I'll read you a small portion of this. The book came about when Jim Hightower, who was a former ag commissioner in Texas. Do you know that name at all? You know what it is? Well, he's way to the left of anybody on the planet, but he's also a really great, honest man. That rarity of rarities. I mean, he's a politician who is a man of the people. And today, the big problem is, you talk about Obama, or all the way up and down. There isn't any one of those guys. I mean, I can't think of a living politician that I really admire and respect. I mean, the closest might be, I like Bill Clinton, you know. I like George Bush, actually. I mean, and I like some of the Texas guys, but I don't really, I'm not inspired by them. I mean, we're not talking about Winston Churchill, Ann Richards, even Huey Long, or, you know, I mean, anybody who can, you know, the sad thing was John Edwards really excited a lot of people, you know, anybody, he was a fraud. I mean, and they're all frauds. Bad people are drawn to politics today. Good people stay the hell away from it. That's what I think is happening. And so I'm on vacation anyway from politics. But blessed is the match that kindles the flame. You know, I mean, I'm glad that I ran for governor as an independent. I'll tell you right now, I can see it. I would have won if I'd been in most other states. You can't, an independent has never won in Texas, New York, or California, or Florida. Those are big states, and Ohio's a pretty big state too. But Jesse Ventura, the reason he won is he was in Minnesota. You know, and the people there, I mean, a word of mouth kind of a populist independent movement can rise and really work in those states. I got 600,000 votes and lost, because 26% of the people was all that voted. But screw that, you know, I mean, who cares? This is all past. The most important thing is, I'm not bitter. And I really am not. I really like Rick Perry. I mean, I like him, but he's just, I mean, the thing is so damn it's not like Ohio, folks. Texas is the 7th largest economy in the world and ranks 49th. In education, and 50th in healthcare coverage, and we're whacking somebody every 2 weeks. You know, we've got the worst of the death penalty in Texas. Really is killing people. And the latest little blunder we made was a fellow named Cameron Todd Willingham, who you might have read about. This guy was accused of committing arson, of killing his 3 little daughters, which he always said he did not do. And Rick Perry and his boys fast-tracked him through, and they killed him. And today, which is 6 years later, 5 years later, every arson expert on the planet is saying, in no way could this have been arson. It was not arson. It was junk science. It was, and that this guy was innocent. And I'm talking about people who don't know who the governor is, or they don't care about Texas politics, just arson experts around the world, have all lined up behind Cameron Todd Willingham, who's dead. And Rick Perry campaigning in churches. He's a Christian. I'm the comedian. I'm the humorist, you know. I was the only candidate who was against the death penalty, who could have gotten rid of the death penalty in Texas. And I told Christian groups, and I still do when I meet with them, that I apologize. I'm sorry that you've got to hear this from a Jew. But remember, folks, that's who you heard it from the first time. I mean, you can care about things as much as you know. I mean, frankly, Libya and Charlie Sheen really are about all that I care about, but it bothers me that Texas is killing these people because they've been on death row for 23, 24 years. I mean, it just looks bad. I don't know what your situation is. I know that Texas has never bothered a DNA death row. We don't want to know. We do not want to know. because the governor of Nebraska did it. He did it about 7 years ago. He got, out of 9 people on death row, 5 of them could not have possibly committed the crime. When the governor heard that, he said, that's it for the death penalty here. We're not doing it. Texas has more than 400 people on death row. And the system is fundamentally broken, just like politics. It's fundamentally dishonest. It's a dishonest profession. And what suffers is education, the death penalty. Wussification is everywhere you look. I campaigned against wussification, and I'm still against it. It's the weakening of fibers, folks. Moral, physical, spiritual. Taking the 10 Commandments out of the public schools. Do you have, are they in the schools here or out? They're out. See, I say, bring them back, man. Maybe just call them the 10 Suggestions or something. And the worst thing, in 2006, was that the undercover cops from Texas law enforcement, while I was campaigning for governor as an independent, they were arresting drunks in hotel bars, undercover cops in Dallas. And this was becoming a big story. And I said, hell, I mean, if you're an alcoholic, if you're a drunk, that's where you belong. You should be in a hotel bar somewhere. I mean, that's your home. And it's wussification to hire undercover people to arrest them. That's really something wrong with that. And then I brought up the fact that Oscar Wilde was arrested by undercover cops. And in fact, I was the only candidate who even mentioned Oscar Wilde. He was arrested in 1895 at the Cadogan Hotel in London for the last time. And he was arrested by undercover cops. And the undercover guys came up to him, and one of them said, Oscar Wilde? And Oscar said, yes. And Oscar was pretty well walking on his knuckles that evening. Definitely. He was very drunk. And the undercover guy said to him, do you know who I am? And Oscar Wilde turns to the bar and he says, good God, there's a man here who doesn't know who he is.